YouTube, Dolly here. I am so excited for today's video. It's about self-tanning and my self-tanning routine. If this is not your jam or your cup of tea, you just click off the video, but come back in December because I'm gonna have a new video every single day. Yeah, you heard me. Every single day. Back to this video, I'm going to talk about what I do before I apply a self-tan, how I apply the self-tan, and what do I do to maintain the tan, that sort of thing. And I'm going to talk about the different products that I particularly like to use across the board with basically every self-tanner that I've used, what works the best, application methods that works the best, you get the gist. Ultra fast, really short disclaimer, if any of the products that I've mentioned are not cruelty-free, I am so sorry, and I will not repurchase them if they're not cruelty-free just because that's my cupcake right now. And when I find alternatives, I will let you guys know ASAP. This application process applies to self-tanning mousses. Day before the tan, what do you do? Here we go. If I had a self-tan prior, there's a couple extra things I'm going to be doing versus if I haven't applied a self-tanner, like just recently before I apply it again. If I've had a self-tan prior and I need to make sure I get all the old tan off, these are some things you need to know. Now before, when I had a bathtub or access to a bathtub, I would definitely take a soak and it was nice. But then I also learned that soaking in a hot tub isn't the best for your skin or your body overall in general. But then Bondi Sands came out and dropped this magic bomb in the self-tanning world. It is called the self-tan eraser. Essentially what you do with this is you apply it to dry skin. After at least 3 days of applying a self-tan, pump foam on, I just put it on myself. The air conditioning just came on, so I'm sorry, but like I'm gonna keep filming. When I hop in that shower after I've applied that self-tan eraser and let it sit for 5 minutes, or I'm just going in the shower to get ready to apply the self-tan the next day, what I do is I shave all the things that need to be shaved. Armpits, legs, that kind of thing. You get the idea. I use this, the L'Occitane Almond Shower Oil. When I bought this container, I also bought this refiller. So I've used quite a bit of it because this, I believe, will refill this 3 times. I've never had a problem with that irritating my skin or messing up at the tan, so that's always been a win for me. Exfoliating is the next step, and I have a couple different exfoliators to show you that definitely have worked for me. The first being this St. Ives exfoliator. This one and the pink one, which I think is a grapefruit. Ugh. Love them, work fantastic. I basically just use them with a loofah or a washcloth or my hands, whatever I'm feeling that day. The next exfoliant I use is pretty much always one of the Tree Hut Shea Sugar Scrubs. This one, it doesn't really matter the scent. I loved the coffee one. There was one that was like a coconut lime. So good. I put the lime and the coconut and mix it all together. For some reason, if the Bondi Sands self-tan eraser and the exfoliant didn't get off like any old remaining tan, I will bust out this from Loving Tan, or you can use any other scrub mitt. You can get them from like literally every self-tanning brand out there. One side is like a rough side and the other side is like a less rough side, but that can get off any excess anywhere. But once you've rinsed off your exfoliator and you are ready to go for the next round in the shower, that would be, you know, washing your body. There are 2 body soaps that I basically use at all ever. The first one is Trader Joe's Refresh, the citrus body wash with vitamin C. This one, I love it. It cleans and then it rinses off very easily so that you're not left with any residue that would interfere with the tan's development. The only other body soap I ever use is the Ivory Bar Soap. I have such sensitive eczema-prone skin that bar soap is pretty much the only one I use, and I have never had it interfere with my self-tan, but that may be because I make sure I really rinse my body off really well after I've cleansed it. Like I'll even use a washcloth, make sure it's completely rinsed out of soap, and I'll just kind of rub my body down because that'll get rid of any soap residue. And while I'm rinsing to get rid of that soap residue, I make sure the water's cool, because you have just shaved, and if you plan on self-tanning any bit before, you know, the 24-hour mark after this shaving experience, you will definitely want to use cold water to help, you know, close your pores. Ta-da. While you're rinsing with that cool water, not ice cube water, but cool water that you can tolerate the coldness, it's good for your scalp and your hair anyway. Then there's this little section that's also before you apply your self-tan. You don't want to apply lotions, perfumes, or any antiperspirant deodorants while you're waiting that time frame before you put on your self-tan. The reason being, those products can alter the chemical formulation of your self-tan. It can make it develop funny or blotchy, and you don't want that, so just don't. It's really easy. I'll show you the deodorant that I use that I haven't had any problem with. Antiperspirant deodorants will definitely make a huge like green splotch on your armpits when you apply self-tanner. Not like every self-tanner, but like I've had that, right? So I found that this one I can actually apply if I like have to wear a deodorant, like if I'm not just hanging out at home or something. But I'll use this one. This is the Old Spice Aqua Relief deodorant. This one is not an antiperspirant. It smells wonderful. And there you go. That's the one that I use that I have not had an issue with. I'm not 100% sure if this is cruelty free or not. I really hope it is, because if it's not, like, I'm gonna be so upset that I won't be able to buy it again. I'm gonna have to find something else, and I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole finding another deodorant that doesn't bother my tan. I will talk about it in antiperspirant deodorant. The only one that I found that seems to not mess up my tan and like make it fade super fast on my armpits, we'll talk about that one later, because that's in the aftercare. Alright, let's say I took that shower when I got home at like 7 o'clock at night. Well, let's be real, I take that shower at like 10 o'clock at night. Then I'm going to be applying my self-tan the next night around 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m. something. Now we're in the application process. The super fun part, also a little bit of nitty-gritty details about how to do it. This has taken me a long time to master and perfect for myself over here. So these are like some magic wisdom truths that I've stumbled upon or that I found out on the internet. So you're welcome. I am one of those people that because of my dyshydrotic eczema, that my hands and my like arms up to my elbows are like the most dry, like scaly almost. No matter how much moisturizer I use, pretty much. But there are a few things that I found that really help make the tan application process look really good. Because of my really dry skin, I knew I needed to apply some sort of moisturizer before applying the self-tan, like directly before applying the self-tan, so that your skin in those super dry areas doesn't take on too much of that tan and get really wonky looking. But because I have really dry skin, these are the products that I use that help alleviate that a lot. I'm just gonna run them down for you. Coconut oil. Excellent, you don't need a lot of it. Please don't use a lot of it. You need maybe a dime size amount to do your hands. I make sure I really focus on my hands so that I don't get extra staining on my hands when I'm applying the self-tanner. And then I blend it all the way up to my elbows and around my elbows, and then I blend it like this. You know, just get it all up in there, you know? And once it's really saturated into my skin and fairly dry, I also do my knees. When I say I do my knees, I do like right here with the coconut oil, like right there and right there. And then I just blend that in. Because if you put it too much, if you make the horizon too big, it just, trust me, stick to the really dry spots. And then I do my ankles and my feet, and then I blend it up. This is getting real intense here. I blend it to like here, okay? And that application process that I just talked about, the coconut oil, goes the same with all the lotions that I talk about. And the last moisturizer I have on deck for us is the Shea Moisture African Black Soap Soothing Body Lotion with oats, aloe, and vitamin E for severely dry skin. This one I know is cruelty-free, has no parabens, no phthalates, no propylene glycol, no mineral oil, no sulfates, and no animal testing. Those are all things that you'd like to see on your lotions because those also help you have a nice tan when you're doing self-tanning. Just throwing it out there. Ooh, oh. I don't have it because I ran out of it, but I've gone through like 3 big tubs of it in the different fragrances. I think I used like vanilla. I'm pretty sure I used red ribose. It's the Josie Marin Argan Oil Whipped Body Butter. That stuff is amazing. It was expensive, so I would try to find something a little cheaper. Buckle your seatbelts, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. If you want, grab a snack or something to sip on, because this is gonna be a long video, guys. I have written down here, step by step, the procedure of how I do my self-tanning. Maybe I'll do a little demonstration, a little bit. General application purpose, this is what I'm gonna talk about. The application mitt of choice is the self-tanning mitt from St. Tropez. Love it. It doesn't absorb too much tan. It blends super easily. It's pretty sturdy, so when you rinse it and then you can wash it later, it lasts for like at least 4 uses or 4 applications, if not longer, and it's only about $6. I'm a little ashy right now because I didn't apply lotion today, but basically I do my calves first, and I do like half the amount of pumps that I do for my thighs, and then I'll go on and I'll do my back, and then I'll do my stomach and sides and chest, and then I'll do my arms last, and I will do my feet and hands after that with whatever product is left over on the mitt. Generally, the application process I use is like, let's say I put a couple of pumps here, I just go like this. It's like really not that complicated. I don't do this until after I've done some circular motions, okay? And when I do my hands, I like to make a little claw, and then I make sure to go in there because then you won't get the little white lines in your knuckles, which is gonna look weird. Just saying. All right, and because I wanted a generalization for you guys about pumps and how much I use for myself. Now, I am a small person. I'm not 5 feet tall. Ever. I'll never be 5 foot tall. So use this, you know, as a guideline for proportions. For my calves, I'll use 2 pumps each. For thighs, 3 to 4. Back, 4. Or I'll do like 3 on top, 2 on bottom. I like to do the top part of my back first and then the bottom part of my back. Just, it makes things a lot easier. Trust me. And I also, when you're doing your back, you want to take the mitt and flip it around on your hand so that you can go like this. And I kind of pat and then I blend it around. If you're not that flexible, I hope you've got, you know, one of those applicators, you know, you can use like a back scratcher, or you have a personal helper, like a friend or, you know, a significant other to help you out, because you make sure that's blended. You gotta have lighting, you gotta do this in good lighting. You have to do this in good lighting. Stomach, I do about 2 pumps, 2 to 3. Chest and neck area, I do 2.5 pumps. And arms, I will do 1.5 to 2 pumps each. Once the self-tanner has been applied, I make sure that I have my hands blended out really well. Kind of rinse off my palms with some trickling water, and then I'll kind of pat it dry with a towel. Let me show you. Just the palms of my hands, and then I'll pat it dry kind of like that. And then while they're still a little damp, I'll kind of go like this, because that will really get the self-tan product to blend smoothly on your hands and that it doesn't get stuck on your knuckles. Yeah, trust me. Then I'll take maybe a little pea size of lotion on the back of my hand and I'll rub it together and then blend it through my fingers, and there you go. I'll also do like this for the application of the lotion there. Once I have the tan applied appropriately, I will not get dressed until I'm dry to the touch pretty much. Self-tan will always feel a little sticky until you like pretty much rinse it off. When I lived in a more humid climate, I would stand in front of a fan, no joke, and that would help me dry faster. Or what I would do is I would grab my hair dryer and, you know, I'd do it that way. Both those methods really helped expedite the process. Here, where it's drier in Arizona, I kind of just stand around for maybe 5 minutes. This might be the best known secret in self-tanning. What you can do to help your self-tan not get everywhere or on your clothes is I throw a little bit of this on my hands, and I put it on my armpits, and like I put it on the areas that get, you know, sweaty at all. And the baby powder is just like magic. But anyway, I won't put that all on. I won't put the baby powder on everywhere right away. No. I would make sure I'm slightly dry to the touch, and then I would get dressed in something very loose fitting, say a lightweight bathrobe or a lightweight kimono thing that you have going on in your house. Or if it's like colder, you know, a lightweight long sleeve shirt. I usually go for a long sleeve anyway, just so that like it doesn't like mess up the tan. I don't know. It doesn't usually, but like I don't want it to absorb more product here than here and have it be different. Does that make sense? Because it does to me, and I felt like I noticed a slight difference when I do a long sleeve. So take that for what you will. That's just my experience. And then I'll just sit there and I'll wait for, you know, a good 30 minutes to an hour, 2 hours, unless I'm doing multiple coats of the self-tanning. It depends on the tanning mousse. It depends on if you need more than one application. But generally, for me, I like 2 coats because I'm very, 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 very pale. And if I have a tan on, I want it to be noticeable, okay? This is about to get a little more complicated. If I'm doing a self-tanning mousse that requires a 2-hour rinse off, I generally wait anyway a little longer to rinse off, like another couple of hours. But with my hands and my feet, what I like to do is rinse them with water and then do the lotion thing again after about an hour or half hour, depending. Now with the self-tanner that you leave on for 6 to 8 overnight, that one I'll wait a couple hours, and then I will definitely rinse my hands so that the self-tan doesn't develop too much or overdevelop there, and I'll do that on my feet too. And if, like, let's say I'm going to a wedding, I'll take a damp corner of a washcloth and just like touch on my elbows and then blend it in with some lotion, but very, very little and very subtle. That way you don't get any unwanted buildup, especially if you're in kind of a time crunch. And I specifically definitely do this because I have such dry skin. So if you don't have as dry of skin, you may not need to do this, but I kind of recommend it anyway. I also, like I said, with the lotion, a little bit of a dime, rub, rub, rub. Like I said, you want to make sure you blend that so that you don't end up with a line. Are you all taking notes? Because you should be if you I'm just kidding. Just watch the video again. No, seriously, just watch my video again because I need the views. Help a girl out. Okay. Then the most difficult process, sleep or just waiting. I basically go to sleep, or if I'm staying up for half of it, I'll be probably playing video games, which is a little promo out there. I'm going to be having a video gaming channel. It's already up, but I don't have any content on it yet. But if anything, that's called Aquarzia, and that's what I go by on pretty much every gaming platform. Now we're going to move on back to this video. You've woken up, and it's the morning of the next day. I go in the shower, and I rinse off. I don't use soap. I just rinse it off. If anything, I kind of use my hands. Just make sure I got off any of the color guard. Some self-tanners have more color guard than others. Take that for what you will. I use coolish water, and then I'll basically wrap myself in the towel. I won't rub because that'll ruin your self-tan. Not drastically, but it'll make it fade faster. So I just kind of let myself air dry the best I can with a towel, dry certain areas that need to be dried with help, and then like I said, I'll use that deodorant that is not an antiperspirant, especially for the first or second day, because you don't want to have a white armpit and a tan rest of your arm. That's not cute. But if you're the kind of person where you need an antiperspirant, I got you. It took like forever to find this, but this summer I discovered it. It's the Under Armour Ultra Max Powder Fresh deodorant. Now, one of the annoying things with this deodorant is that for some reason, I don't know if it's this bottle, but when I twist it up, when I'm applying it, it pushes this out and then it pulls the product. I'm willing to put up with that because it is the least deteriorating, aggravating to the tan. And it smells like baby powder, so it goes great with all my other perfumes. Speaking of perfumes, I don't use perfumed lotions or perfume in general until it's at least day 3 of having a self-tan on. And I will typically just spray my clothes with a fragrance rather than my skin, because alcohol is a self-tan's nightmare. So just don't. Now we're into the maintenance phase. What do I do to maintain my self-tan? Well, to be honest, I try to moisturize once a day, but sometimes it turns into every other day, and believe me, you can tell the difference of how long your tan lasts if you moisturize every day. I use those same moisturizers I talked about before. The other kind of lotion I like to use is a gradual tanner. This one specifically is the one that I often reach for, just because it dries really quickly. The one with SPF is really good too. I just find that it takes a little bit longer to dry, so I like this one for the quick dry. It smells like cocoa butter, which is phenomenal. And the color is really good. It's not dramatic and in your face, it doesn't have sparkles. It's wonderful. Beyond the gradual tanner, I'll use a regular moisturizer, like I was saying, maybe once a day. A lot of places that provide self-tanning products will say, you know, apply a lotion twice a day. I'm like, oh, I don't have time for that in my life. But it would honestly prolong your tan. I've told you about the lotion, so that's pretty much everything I know about self-tanning and how it works and how to make the most of it. I hope this video is going to be helpful for some of you. Take it with a grain of salt, you know, try what's best for you. If you're interested in what tanning products I specifically like to use, I'll leave a bunch of links in the description box. Some of the videos that I have, I talk about different tans in depth, which is why I never went into this huge long process in those videos. Keep it classy, YouTube. See you later.